Hello, hello, hello. So today we are talking about the 5, what's our title, dear?
5 food stash secrets
Our
they
5
don't want you to know.
5 food stash secrets they don't want you to know. Mike did it better than me. So we're down in my stockpile room because we had so many questions last time. Let me do a quick PSA commercial real quick. We had major shopping cart meltdowns this week. So if you did not catch our 35% off sale, we're keeping it until tomorrow, right, Mike? Tomorrow night, Saturday night?
Yes.
So for those of you who had shopping cart issues, we are really, really sorry. We have been dinking with the shopping cart for 3-4 days now, trying to get them to get it figured out. And finally, they got it figured out because someone else reported it too. It wasn't just us. So 35% off all our cookbooks, including gluten-free, dairy-free, guys. So go grab that at livingonadime.com if you missed out. Okay, let me grab my notes here because I sort of forgot to write my notes down. Oh, you gotta love me anyway.
Yes, I do.
All right, guys, we're gonna jump right into it. So these 5 secrets. If you do only these 5, then your stockpile will always be ready for you to use, always fresh, and always organized. Okay. Number 1, just do something. Okay. You do not have to go and spend $1,000 today to go stockpile on food. You can if you want, but you don't have to. For the last, I don't know how many years, 15, 20 years, we've been preaching. Just buy 5 extra cans of something, or maybe like 5 boxes of mashed potatoes, or 5 garlic salt powders. Just get 5 of something every time you go to the store. So it could be 5 2-pound bags of rice, or 1 20-pound bag of rice, however you want to do it, but do something. This is the biggest problem, is people get into analysis paralysis and they don't do anything at all. Then they just stop, get in a fetal position, and don't even try. That's not okay. You've got to do something, and you have to keep trying, and you have to at least do what you can. Okay. Now, if you guys have questions, write the word question and put it in there, and Mike will grab those, and I will be answering those as soon as I'm done. So just do something to get started. Don't make the excuse that you don't have the money. Every single person has the money. Okay, maybe there's 0.0001% of a person who may live on $500 a month that doesn't have extra money. Okay, that's fine. I'll give you that. But pretty much I have not run into one person that couldn't find the money somewhere if they wanted to stockpile. And so if you just do something now and continue to keep doing something with buying 5 every week, or every time you go to the grocery store, however you want to do it, then you will always be working your way up to a stockpile that will sustain you for a couple of days, couple of weeks, and then a few months, and then a few years if you want to go that far. Okay, so just do something. Next, buy what you eat. I know I keep repeating this, but it is amazing how many people buy all this stockpile food and they don't eat it. They go get a whole bunch of beans and rice, or a bunch of military rations, and they're gross and they don't even like them. Buy what you eat. This is not my stockpile. This is my grocery store. And actually, I'm going to be doing a video on this, but This is how I have always, well, not always, but I mean, for years, this is how I've always done it because it's so much easier. I just cook from what I have in my pantry, and I don't have to run to the grocery store several times a week or several times a day. Now, believe it or not, I've been to Walmart like 4 times already in the last 2 days, and we got to go again tonight. But it's not always for food. If I happen to see a good deal while I'm there, which, by the way, guys, if you're not checking out Walmart right now, oh my goodness, they are clearancing everything. I got trash cans for $1. I got 5x8, I think, rugs for $10. Trash cans for $1, rugs for $10. They had tons and tons of clothes for $3 each, fertilizer for $10 a bag. I mean, they're just clearancing everything. So for all the inflation that's happening, you can save if you go now and buy for next year or buy the things that you need on sale now that you know you'll be using in the future. Next is rotate the food that you have. So an example is when we get more Taco Bell sauce and it looks like we're getting a little low.
Yeah, we're getting pretty low.
I think we're getting a little low. We only have 24, 30. We only have 38 bottles right now.
So we probably need about 2-3 more cases, and then we'll be good for a while.
Well, a week or so. So what I do is when I buy my Taco Bell sauce, I just get the whole case, and then I'll just, oh dear. And then, well, normally I'll just pull this one forward, stick the other one back there. And that way I'm always rotating my Taco Bell sauce, okay? Same with all the garlic powders and all that. All the older ones are at the front, newer ones at the back. Same with the cereal. Now for the cereal, so I don't have to move every stack, what I'll do is I'll put the new ones up here. And then when these are gone, I'll put the new ones down here and just start taking from there. I don't do extra work moving stuff when I don't need to. I just clear a shelf. And then when this shelf is full, I'll start filling this one with the older stuff. Let's see. What's another example of that? The same with the sugars and the flours. So I'll clear one shelf. I mean, that stuff is heavy. You don't want to be moving it all over the place. So I'll clear one shelf, and then the next shelf will be the new one. So rotate what you have. And then next is, don't forget, guys, questions. Put a big question, and then Michael, pull your questions easier in the comments. Expiration dates are not expiration dates. They're best buy dates. They have to put that on there for the FDA for whatever reason. It's ridiculous. But let's say these Taco Bell sauces expire are best by April of 2024. Okay. But I would get probably at least another year, if not 2 years, out of something like a sauce like this. Flour, 18 months to 2 years. Sugar, indefinitely. This sugar here, I've had, and the best buy date was 2017, which means I've had this since probably 2015. I'm still using it. These particular ones had gotten buried at the old house, and I didn't realize it, so they didn't get pulled forward. So that's why we moved into the new house, because I wasn't just going to throw it away. And stuff like that, the food pantries won't take it if it's expired. It's ridiculous. So that might be another place for you to get food. Volunteer at a food pantry and see if you can take home the expired food. Because canned goods will last, my goodness, I'll buy canned goods and they'll be 8 or 10 years old and they're perfectly fine. When we were moving at the old house, I found some tomatoes that had gotten in the back also, and they were 8 years old, past the best buy date. So that means it's been 10, 12 years since they were packaged. So, and they were perfectly fine. So the best buy dates are just a suggestion. It is not a hard and fast rule, and I would not waste food by listening to the best buy dates. The next one is, don't forget the fun stuff. Now, you're going to say, Tara, that's such a waste. Well, no, not really. If there's actually a real emergency, I've got a couple of packages of the mints. Now, this is dual purpose. This is not only fun, this helps with stomach ailments too. So this is medicinal, guys. The peppermints are medicinal, but
along with the vanilla.
Yeah, along with the vanilla. Like the cinnamon, these are just fun. Get hard candies. The hard candies made with sugar will last, years and years and years. I don't even know what the date is on these, but yeah. These say December 2023. I just got these like a month ago. And these say December 2023. They'll last way longer than December 2023. And you don't want to get things like gummy bears or chocolate. Chocolate will last quite a while, but not as long as hard candies. And if anyone knows there's chocolate, it's definitely not going to last. Let's see, what are the kinds of candy? Gum will get hard, so you don't really want gum. Licorice will get hard. You want just like your hard candies, your old-fashioned ribbon candies. Those types of sweets are the best ones to have. I'm trying to scan through the grocery aisle here real quick. Things like Good and Plenty will get hard. Let's see, what else is there for candies? I can't think of what else is on the candy aisle. Or yeah, like your jelly peach rings and stuff like that. And so it was funny because I was at the Amish store yesterday here, and the lady was packaging up their foods, and one of her, I don't know, he was probably 3 or 4. He brought out a thing of peach rings. And he said, Mom, can you package these? She said, do you know why he's wanting me to package these? I said, I know why he's wanting to package those. I said, I had 5 kids or 4 biological and 1 that came. And I said, I know why they want you to do that. And she just laughed because I thought it's universal. The kids wanting to do that. So, now, this is just a bonus tip. And don't forget, guys, put your questions in there if you have them. But this is just a bonus tip. But things like this Sure Gel here. Hello, Kimmy. I'm going to have to tell you my planner printer issues now. See this Sure Gel here? This is what you use to make jelly. So I don't usually make jelly because it's a pain in the patootie. But if I can anything, it will be jelly is the one thing I can. I got this last year. It came in 2 packs like this for 50 cents. Look up and see, Mike, on Walmart grocery how much this is right now real quick.
What is it? Sure Gel. Okay. Is that different from Walmart?
No, I just wanted to know because I got it at Walmart. So I paid 50 cents for 2 of these. So I paid $1/4 a box last year on clearance in October when everybody was done canning. And it is $5.54 for 2 packages for the same 2-packet thing right now for me to go pick it up at the store. $5.54. I just saved $5 on 2 packages of these. Guys, that's pretty darn tootin' good. And so now that I've gone sugar-free, I'm going to make me some jelly out of with apple juice as the sweetener instead. By the way, if anybody has a jelly recipe with apple juice as the sweetener, no stevia, no. What are the other ones? NutraSweet, no. Splenda. That's what the one I was trying to think of. Just apple juice. I was at the Amish store yesterday, and they had several that were sugar-free, and they just had apple juice, pectin, either apple cider vinegar or lemon juice. They had, let's see, what else did they have in there? Then the fruit. And then it seems like there was one other ingredient. All normal stuff. But I have researched, and I cannot find a recipe that uses those ingredients. So if you guys have one, would you send it to me, please? Because I would love to try it. The choke cherries right now are...
I don't know for sure.
Hold on, we're checking to see if I'm down or if... Nope, it looks like we're still here on there.
Okay.
Can anybody tell me if we're still here on Mike's computer? Mike's having computer issues, so we don't know if it's his computer or if it's... Let's see. Is it Mike's computer? Can you guys still see me? I don't know. Okay. So, and somebody said sugar shouldn't be... Okay, it's your computer, Kimmy says. Somebody says sugar shouldn't be frozen. I don't know why. I have frozen jelly all the time. We had strawberry jelly I've frozen. I've frozen blackberry jelly. I've frozen apple jelly. I've frozen all of those jellies because I don't like canning. So I'll just freeze my jellies and then defrost them and put them in the fridge when I'm done. So anyway, I'm going to start using this pectin now. Oh, it has recipes inside. Oh, let's see if it happens to be in there, shall we? Would that not take the cake if they actually had a sugar-free one in the packet and I didn't even know it? And I spent like an hour last night because I was like, it was almost $5 a jar at the Amish store. And I was like, well, you know, they seem like really nice people, but I don't want to spend $5 for one little jar of jelly. Let's see. Sugar. My hopes and dreams were dashed. So the choke cherries are coming out in our backyard, and I'm going to go pick some probably tomorrow when it stops raining. And I wanted to make me some sugar-free choke cherry jelly. Mom has some apple juice that she needs to use up, and she's going to bring it over, and I'm going to do that. By the way, I gave Mom a haircut today, and I sort of messed up. I feel really bad. I'll pay for the haircut if it's too bad, Mother. Although when she left, it didn't look too bad. But, oh, yep, all of these just have sugar in them. Shoot. So if anybody has a sugar-free jelly recipe, let me know. Email it to me, editor@livingonadime.com. And let me know. Yeah, there's nothing about sugar-free on here. Shoot. Here I had my hopes all up. And here's the thing, guys. If you go to make regular jelly and it doesn't set up, you don't have jelly. Now you have pancake syrup. So don't just throw it away. Use it for something else aside from jelly. And I've had that happen a few times also where my jelly became pancake syrup. And you can't worry about it. You just have to move on and use it for something else. And then if the pancake syrup doesn't work, you can use it to flavor your tea or make Italian sodas. Has anybody had those Italian sodas? Oh my goodness, that is so delicious. We have it in, I think the Italian sodas are in dining too, I think. Oh, they are so good. It's club soda with some berry syrup, like strawberry, raspberry, whatever you want. And then whipped whipping cream, just cream. And you pour the, let's see, how do you do it? You pour in the, well, let me see if the recipe's in here. But I think you pour in the syrup, the flavored syrup, and then you pour in the cream, and then you pour the club soda on top. It is so delicious. Oh my goodness. That's one of the things that I dearly miss from right there. Does that not look good? Let me tell you. Fill a tall glass halfway with crushed ice. Add your syrup, then your carbonated water. Top with half and half or cream, and then stir and enjoy. Look at that right there. All right, for those of you just joining us, we extended our Labor Day sale 35% off because we had a shopping cart meltdown and a lot of people could not order because their credit cards wouldn't go through, and it wasn't their fault. It was our shopping cart's fault. 35% off, including our gluten-free, dairy-free cookbook. Here's what you need to do, guys. If you go in and you tried it and it didn't work, you need to clear your cache, clear your cookies.
And your cache.
And your cache. Clear your cookies and your cache in your computer, or use a new browser, or use a different device to order.
Any one of those will work.
Any one of those should work. But what happened was the mistake is still caught and remembered by your computer. So if you don't clear those, if you don't clear your cache and you don't clear your cookies, all of that, it's still going to keep remembering it. So if you don't know how to do that, then just use a different browser. So if you're using Chrome, use Safari or Firefox. Is Firefox still around?
Yes.
Use Safari or Firefox, or vice versa. Or if you're trying to order on your phone, go order on your computer, or vice versa. Okay. I'm really sorry. Mike spent hours arguing with our shopping cart, telling them there was a problem. They're like, well, it's just your problem. And we kept having more people and more people say how they couldn't order. So I am really sorry about that. We did not mean to have that meltdown. All right, dear, it is question time. Are you ready? If you have a question, write question, and then the question afterwards, and I will answer it.
I was going to say, Florcita, the chat is asking to pay in order to leave a comment. That's only if you click the super chat button.
Oh, yeah. You don't have to pay to leave a comment.
To the right side of the comment, there's an arrow. Just click that.
Yeah, that's just for super chat. That's just for people who just want to support us, and that's fine. They can do it that way. Okay.
Sorry, I'm having trouble with the computer. Let's see. Brenda, can you freeze milk?
Yes. So all you need to do is remove a little bit so that when the milk freezes and it expands in the container, it doesn't burst in the container. And if you take it, if it's whole milk and the cream has separated from the milk, just shake it up really good and you should be fine for using it.
Karen, how long do you freeze ground beef?
Oh, I mean, they say 6 to 9 months, but I've gone 18 months before I found it, something's fallen in the back of the freezer or whatever, and I missed it. So, I mean, 6 to 9 months is what's recommended, but 18 months is perfectly fine. How long will milk be good for frozen? It is, I don't know, I would say probably 3 to 6 months at least.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were still in the middle of that. And Christy is asking, how long does evaporated milk last after the due date?
I would say probably a couple, 3 years after the best by date.
Cool. Did you say, Catherine says, when you put into Google this phrase, many apple juice recipes pop up. Did you ask?
Yeah, but it's just for apple jelly. It doesn't have the vinegar and the lemon and the berries in it. That's just for plain apple jelly. So I was trying to find one where it's a berry jelly, like strawberry, raspberry, blueberry, blackberry, with apple juice for the sweetener. And they all had apple cider vinegar and lemon juice. If I can't find one, I'm just going to experiment and try it anyway, because that's what I do. So, but there's got to be one, because I saw 2 or 3 different companies had them sugar-free at the Amish store yesterday. And so I know they have them.
Grace Montoya found chicken leg quarters at Save a Lot for 79 cents a pound.
Wow.
And Nancy says Kroger has 10 pounds of chicken leg quarters for $5.90.
59 cents. Wow, that's very good. Yeah, you can still get really good deals on meat, guys. As a matter of fact, I was going to stock up today because they had boneless, skinless chicken thighs for I don't know if it's $2.17 or $2.27 at Walmart. And I just got one package and I'm just kicking myself. And I went this morning and they hadn't stocked yet. So if Mike and I go on our taco date tonight, we'll stop by Walmart and see if they had stocked. But they were really super good. And I actually like them better than boneless, skinless chicken breasts because they are, first of all, we all like the dark meat better. We think the dark meat tastes better. And they are smaller and they're thinner. And I wasn't having to slice them in half or cut them in quarters for tenderloins. I could just fry them up like they were. And they weren't these huge chicken breast patties. And I was like, oh, that's actually very convenient. So if you just like the boneless skinless, you might try the thighs. But the chicken quarters, that's a really good deal. And if you don't have enough freezer space when you get the chicken quarters, if you want to buy a whole bunch, throw them in your Instant Pot, cook them up, take the meat off the bones, then throw the bones in the Instant Pot with some water and make some broth. And then you can save the broth and you can freeze both of those. And they take up less space than the 10-pound bag of chicken quarters. So, I mean, it'll take you a couple of hours if you want to do, 6 or 8 bags or however many, but definitely worth it to get your freezer filled up.
Dolores said pork has been really cheap lately. And M. Hayes said got hamburger for $2.97 a pound, normally almost $7.
Hamburger for $2.97 a pound? Wow, that's good. Yeah.
Tony, how long do Tylenol or Advil last after the best before date?
I can't really give you an answer on that.
Because it's a drug?
Because it's a drug and I don't want you to sue me if something happens. But I will just say that I have used them this is not medical advice. I personally have used them past the best buy date for quite a while. We'll just say that.
Mary Lee, received my Bible today. I also have all 3 of your cookbooks. Thank you from Wyoming.
Yay!
Howdy, neighbor.
Thank you for ordering.
Deborah, I'm not sure if you know this one. I dehydrated cooked ground beef in a mason jar. Oxygen absorber added. How long would that last, please?
Wait, you did what?
Dehydrated cooked ground beef.
Dehydrated cooked ground beef.
And put it in a mason jar.
In a mason jar with an oxygen absorber.
No,
I don't know if that's safe to eat. I would not eat that. I mean, you can ground beef, but I don't know that I would, because there's enough fat and stuff in there that I don't know that you could dehydrate it enough to get all the moisture out. You could maybe freeze dry it if you had a freeze dryer, which is super expensive. I don't know. You'll have to Google that one. I ain't giving any advice on that one because if it was me personally, I would not dehydrate. Well, I mean, I guess it would be like beef jerky though.
Well, yeah, I'm not sure. I guess it depends on how it was
I don't know.
prepared.
I guess it would be similar to beef jerky. So, I mean, beef jerky will go a year and a half to 2 years. So I don't know if somebody else has experience with that, let me know. But I would say probably a year and a half to 2 years if you're going the beef jerky route.
Call the county extension on that one.
Yeah, you could probably call your county extension on that one and ask them. Call the home ec department of your county extension office. I don't know.
Kathy was watching the video on the pill bottles just now. That's like one of our first ones, isn't it?
That was like our second live stream was the pill bottles. That's hilarious. Yeah, we did prescription bottles and all the kids were on there. And that was I think our second live stream we ever did. That's hilarious.
Let's see.
What do you do if you buy meat and the power goes off for a few days, Teresa? Well, you just...
let it go.
You let it go. So here's the thing. If it's only like 2 or 3 days, it's probably fine in there. Keep your freezer closed and don't open it. you can probably, so it depends on, first of all, how full your freezer is. If your freezer is completely full, all the frozen food will insulate itself. So you'll probably get 3 days out of it. If it's only like a quarter or half full, you will probably only get maybe 2 days out of it. So, it just kind of depends. But guys, don't freak out about the power going out and losing food. I have saved, well, first of all, I've never lost, knock on wood, I've never lost an entire freezer full of food due to the power going out. Now, I did because the kids left the door open one time, but not due to the power going out. If it's super cold in the winter, you can just open the door and let the outside, if it's in there, if your freezer's in your garage or something, you can just open the door and let the outside cold keep it. If your freezer's in the house, you can put everything in boxes or coolers and set it outside, away from animals, of course, or in the garage if your garage is below freezing. The other thing is use what you can. Share it with the neighbors or whatever, but keep it in perspective. To fill my freezer with meat that's on sale, even now, it is only at the maximum $200 for a huge freezer, okay? So, because I buy all my all my meat on sale, it's only $200. The amount of savings that I've saved over the last 20 some odd years that I've had a freezer has way outweighed anything that I could ever possibly lose in a power outage. So I honestly just don't worry about it and just consider that a risk of saving money with the freezer. Of course, you don't want to lose it if possible, but, put it outside if it's still cold, that type of thing. But do keep it in perspective and don't make yourself sick over losing it because, you've probably saved way more than that over the years using your freezer.
Christy, how to stockpile coffee to last for a while, or how to make coffee with no electricity.
So to stockpile coffee to last for a while, you can take it out of, so like if this is your can, just take it out of the can as soon as you get it and vacuum seal it. Put it in a vacuum seal bag and vacuum seal it with an oxygen absorber. That's a good way to go ahead and keep it a little bit longer term or a lot longer term. To make coffee without power, you'll just have to have another heat source, a little wood, a little alcohol burner or a rocket stove or a fire pit or something, just like you're camping. How would you make it with camping? You'd boil your water, pour it over the coffee grounds, let it sit for a few minutes, and then strain off the coffee grounds.
Chris, so I bought 25 pounds of rice. I have them in a flat Tupperware. Do I need to do something more with it?
No.
Brenda, I'm in a small apartment, don't have much room to store stuff. What do I do? Any ideas?
Yeah, so Mom and I did a video on that. So just go search small space, I think, or apartment on our YouTube channel. But I mean, basically just find any space you can, under your bed, under your couch, in the backs of a closet, in the back corners of cabinets. Can you use it as furniture? Like my mountain apartment that I had a wall, not a big wall, but I had a wall where I didn't have any furniture, and, stack boxes of it up that way and put a tablecloth over it, and you've got a side table. So, you can use a trash can, put it in trash can and put a round piece of wood on top with a tablecloth, and you've got an end table. Make yourself a coffee table out of it. Get an old trunk, fill it up with your food, and then you have a coffee table. So anything like that, just start thinking of any type of space that you have.
A bunch of people are talking about that ground beef in the jar. They said that Rain Country talked about that, and apparently she shows some sort of way that it's edible. So maybe it would be good to
I would just go over her and see what she has to say. Says. I mean, I think after I said that, I was like, well, that would just be beef jerky. The only thing is...
Depends on how it was prepped, though.
Well, yeah, and the only thing with hamburger is that hamburger has more fat than beef jerky does, because beef jerky is usually made out of lean steak. You don't leave the fat on there. So I guess if you cooked. I could see you cooking your hamburger, straining it in a colander with super hot water to get all the fat off, and rinsing it with super hot water to get all the fat off, and then dehydrating it. I guess it would be just like beef jerky probably. So that would probably work.
I think you already said it, but Amelia was saying on the small apartment, if you have space under your bed, utilize that. Storage totes will fit under beds.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Kimberly. Oh, no, sorry. Kay. I have 2 boxes of Rice Krispies and 1 of Frosted Flakes that expired in May 2022. Should I throw it away?
No! Don't throw it away. Eat it.
So there were a lot of people concerned about expiration dates, and particularly like when you were talking about this stuff, they're like, how can you possibly eat all this before it expires?
Okay, so first of all, cereal will go like 2 years past the expiration date. Okay, so don't let that bother you. I would make up some Rice Krispie treats or Frosted Flake treats with the marshmallows and butter and do that. But this is so we go through about 1 to 2 boxes of cereal a week. Okay. I'm gluten-free, dairy-free. So I use the Cheerios as a treat. Sometimes as a breakfast, I will melt some ghee, clarified butter, and I'll melt some of that in a bowl with some salt and put some Cheerios in. And it's kind of like popcorn Cheerios. I do the same thing with Rice Chex. But, you know, I bought this last September and we've eaten half of it. Well, more than half of it, actually. We've eaten 3/4 of it because we go through about a box a week. So when you buy it, just estimate how much you eat. Don't overbuy. But if you eat 1 box of cereal a week and you get it for 50 cents a box, like I did with this, then I'm going to buy myself 52 to 102 boxes of cereal because I know we'll eat it before it expires. So yeah, I don't worry about it. And if it does expire, we eat it anyway if it's within probably 2 years.
Kimberly Nash.
Kimberly.
My mom lost an entire refrigerator and freezer full of food on Thanksgiving when the refrigerator quit. Luckily, the refrigerator was under warranty, and she not only got a replacement refrigerator, but because she saved her grocery receipts, they refunded her $800 for the amount of food that was in there.
Wow.
She says it did ruin Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that's a good idea. And your house insurance might cover it too.
Well, and correct me if I'm wrong. Did you live in Ohio? Because around Thanksgiving, it's cold enough here that we just put all the stuff outside.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it does depend on that.
Mm-hmm. Although some Thanksgivings, it's been really warm for us, even in Colorado and Wyoming.
Ian Scatia, yes, last week I got summer shoes for $7, and it's going to be summer here. I think she's in the south.
She must be in Australia or New Zealand. Yeah.
Yeah, wow, cool.
Yeah.
Christy, I shopped at Walmart at Winn-Dixie today, saw more bare shelves than I have in a while. Pasta and rice was scarce.
She had what?
She went to Winn-Dixie and Walmart and didn't see so much stuff. It does kind of depend on what time of the day you're there, though.
It does. I mean, so like they stock at our store like at 9 o'clock in the morning, and I was there at 8:30 this morning, and so they hadn't got it done yet. So Mike and I are going to go, if we go on a taco date, we'll run by there and see if they happen to stock real quick. But yeah, I mean, it does depend on when you go. While Mike's grabbing the next question, let's do a quick commercial break. For those of you who tried to order and had ordering problems, we extended our Labor Day sale till tomorrow. 35% off. We had a shopping cart meltdown, so they weren't accepting credit cards. For some people, we have no idea why. We're not going to even keep messing with them. They said that it's fixed now. So 35% off all of our books, including our gluten-free, dairy-free edition, Volume 1 of Dining on a Dime and Volume 2. And if you tried before and it did not accept your credit cards, either clear your cookies and your cache, or use a new browser, or use a different device And that should let your credit card go through. Our payment processor is telling they have it fixed. So we're hoping that they're telling the truth. So.
And if you didn't catch all the stuff Tara said, on the front page of the store where it talks about the sale, there's a link to the information about what you can do. Okay. Megan, I'm confused about Pantry versus Stockpile. It looks like there are a dozen bags of sugar and garlic powder. How fast will you use those?
Okay, so on the garlic powder, there's not a dozen. There's probably 3 dozen or 4 dozen. So what happened on the garlic powder was I went and bought some, and Mike didn't know that I had bought some, and he went and bought some at the same time. So on the garlic powder, yes, we just overbought. The sugar and the flour, I am a cookbook author, and so I do more than just my family cooking. With testing recipes and doing cooking videos and stuff like that. So I do have extra than a normal family would eat in a year. I just give it away to the neighbors or the mail later or whoever if we won't eat it. And so that's why I do have some extra of the sugar and the flour.
So Valerie says, just bought all my spices and vinegars and covers to pickle for the next year.
Oh, well, there you go.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and like in a month or so, if they have canning jars and stuff left, those are going to be on clearance. So be watching if you guys can and stuff like that.
Trinity says she loves how organized you are.
Well, I look organized, don't I? No, I mean, I'm pretty organized with my stockpile. So, and actually, now that I don't have so many kids at home, I'm more organized than I was. It's amazing how when you start having kids leave the house, we've got 3 out of the house now and only have 2 left. And quite frankly, I hope the others don't hear this, but they're the 2 easiest ones. So
wait, the ones that are here,
the ones that are left.
Oh yeah.
We won't tell the other 2 that, but now we got the other 2 out of our hair, and then the 3rd one also. We got 2 left, and we're doing good. So we're cooking with gas now.
Were you confused about your tips? Because Karen said she gave me a list of the tips that you shared.
Mm-hmm. Why was I confused?
I don't know. She says tips you shared, and then she shares number 1, just do something. 2, buy what you eat. 3, rotate the food you have. 4, expiration dates are not expiration dates. They're best buy dates. And 5, don't forget the fun stuff.
Yep.
Oh, maybe that's because you asked earlier. What were the tips that you forgot you were going to say in the show notes?
Oh, you maybe saw my comment earlier. Yeah, I forgot to write it down. The cookbooks are on livingonadime.com. Go to the shop and you can see the prices there. They're different for the different ones.
Tara Bell 3, I have so much left over from 2020 worries. Now dates are almost out and 2 kids left home this year. I wish I could trade it out.
Well, what do you have left? I mean, you can probably still eat a majority of it. If it's canned goods, you can definitely still be eating it. If it's flour and stuff, yeah, you need to be using it up. But I mean, when I get to that point, what I start doing is like, I'll make pancakes for breakfast every morning. I'll make biscuits for dinner every night. Or I'll make cookies a couple of times, 3-4 times a week. And so just start using it. That's what I do when I have things that are expiring or past the expiration date and I really need to be getting them used up. That's what I do is, then we just start making it, cooking with it.
Beth says, I was at my local grocery store today at around 11 a.m. and they were still stocking.
Yeah.
Part of the thing is here that there are not enough employees.
Yeah.
So it takes longer. So the shelves are bare longer, even though there is stuff in the store.
Yeah. The labor shortages are causing them to be delayed. So that could be part of it. Kenneth is having some of our recipes. Dining on a Dime cookbooks, 35% off right now, still till tomorrow. Tonight for dinner. Yay.
Yay. Tattooed Hands Piano, if you bought stuff you're not likely to eat, this is a reference to answering Tara Bell, and it's still in date, maybe we're taking it to a food bank rather than taking up storage space, only if you're managing to replace with enough, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one thing is, if you're going to donate it, you should donate it before it expires, because if it's getting close, they'll just throw it away.
Yeah, food bank won't take foods after they've expired, or at least all the ones that I know.
Tara Bell 3, how do I never find clearance deals at Wally World? Is there a special place you look for clearance?
No, I just watch. I mean, I just watch for the yellow tags and, you know, and here's the thing with the clearance items, guys. When you find it, if it's a product that you're not sure if you're going to use it or not, buy it anyway. And then you can decide within the 3-month return window if you are definitely going to need it. And you can return it and get your money back if you find out you're not going to use it. So like if it's kids' clothes, just buy it. And if you take it home and your kid's like, ooh, that's ugly, well, then you can just take it back and get your money back.
Janine, I started stocking my shelves during COVID, but already had to throw away. I buy a year ahead of date now. So again, the date is
you started having to throw stuff away through COVID. You shouldn't be throwing anything away from COVID. There's absolutely nothing that can't be used. Let me see. I mean, maybe if it was meat in your freezer, but if it's any pantry items, everything should still be good from COVID, even if it was March 2020, because it doesn't expire until, some of it wouldn't expire until probably December of 2021. And almost everything will go at least 6 months past that, if not 18 months. The only thing I could think of is maybe baking powder and yeast might not still be good, but everything else, you shouldn't be throwing anything away. It should be fine.
Okay, let's see. Let's see. Beth, I got some apple slices at a food pantry, made applesauce with it. It was delish. Shannon, my daughter just offered to trade her rent to dehydrate and make my seasonings, also cook dinners for the month, and I told her yes.
Yeah, take her up on that.
Tattooed Hands Piano, here in the UK, my latest long-lasting sweet buys are hard-boiled sweets and tinned rice pudding. I'm going to get lots of rice pudding next.
Well, there you go.
I wonder what hard-boiled sweets are.
I don't know, but they must be in Europe or New Zealand or Australia or something, because we don't have those here.
And Joy says I stocked up on dark chocolate from Dollar Tree for medicinal purposes.
Oh, yes. Dark chocolate for medicinal purposes. Somebody asked about so Dining on a Dime Volume 1, 35% off right now. The brownie jar mix. Okay. See the brownie jar mix right there? Boop. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. So somebody asked, there's no baking powder in it. No, that's because it has 4 eggs, and the eggs is the leavening in that.
All righty. Meg, are cherry pitters worthwhile?
Well, they are if you use a lot of cherries.
Yay.
I mean, if you make 2 jars of jam a year, no, I probably wouldn't. But if you make a lot of it, I would, yeah.
Music Mad said, made it. Been awake since 4:30 this morning. Glad you tuned up.
Oh, Liz, we are so sorry to hear about your hubby. I just can't imagine how hard that must be for you guys. So we've been praying for you because, yeah, anyway, we've been thinking about you a lot. So I hope you're doing okay. For those of you who, well, I better not say anything because she may not want me to say anything. So anyway.
Denise, is there a reason I haven't seen lime sugar-free gelatin? It hasn't been in Walmart for quite a while.
So yesterday, I bought a couch off of Facebook, and the lady was telling me she can't find pudding, instant pudding or boxed pudding. And so I'm wondering if it's the same thing. I have no idea what the issue is. I have not heard of the issues, but you're not the only one who's missing that kind of stuff. So I don't know what the deal is with that.
Tattooed Hands Piano says hard-boiled sweets are, quote, hard candies, high sugar, what we in the UK call sucky sweets.
Oh, okay. Hard-boiled
hard
sweets are like our peppermints and our cinnamon candies. And yeah, okay.
Grace Ann, managing to get you guys live. Thanks for the heads up the other night, letting me know Friday nights are earlier for us in the UK. A massive hi, and thanks from Glasgow.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that's good.
And Tattooed Hands also said, Piano said that I'm really appreciating this earlier broadcast time in the UK.
Yay! So we're doing an experiment for the month of September and doing all of our shows live. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We might cut back to 2 shows. 3 shows a week is kind of pushing it for us. My eye is twitching right now, so I think it is pushing it for us. But sorry. But yeah, that's why we're doing lives, is we're doing an experiment. So
Fluffy Otter One said that stockpiling Necco wafers are forever candy. Nancy Forsyth Forster Jolly Ranchers.
yeah, Jolly Ranchers would be good. I didn't know Necco wafers, but that would make sense. Yeah,
And
those things are. Yeah.
I like them.
Okay, do you like Necco wafers or not? That's the question. That's one of those candies, you either like them or not. I personally think they taste good, but you
I like that
them.
they're not so.
Yeah.
I like that they're not as sweet as those
Yeah.
ones the kids like, or those little rolled candies.
Yeah, I like them because they're kind of crispy, kind of like a potato chip or whatever. But yeah.
Groundhog Day question: best way to store brown sugar? Mine is always rock hard.
Yes. So there's little clay things that you can buy that you soak in water and then you put them in there and close the bag and they do fine. But if you just put a piece of bread, a piece of white bread in there, that will soften it right up. We also have a video on how to soften brown sugar where you can just put in the microwave. So take a wet paper towel, put it over the top of a bowl of hard brown sugar, put it in the microwave for a few seconds, and usually that will harden it. If not, if none of that stuff works, don't forget you can use a grater and shave it. The same if your regular white sugar gets hard, you can grate it. And if you can't do that, just use little chunks in like your oatmeal, your cream of wheat, your cream of rice, those types of liquidy cereals that will use brown sugar. That's the way to use it.
Beth, 2 shows a week is enough. Don't tire yourself out.
Yeah, I'm pretty pooped.
Joan, failed jams and jellies make great ice cream topping.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, I didn't think about that. They would be. And also, like, if you make the no-bake fudge cookies in here and they don't set up, like if I made them today and it's raining, they would not set up. And so we use those for ice cream topping also.
Deborah, cute shirt, Tara.
Thank you.
Music Mad's wondering, would you use maple syrup as the sweetener? I'm not sure what.
I don't know what you're using it in, but yes, maple syrup makes a really good sweetener for a lot of things.
And Christine said, Tara, there are artificial sugar-free sweeteners that are measured just like sugar.
Yeah, but they taste awful. I've tried every one. The closest I can come is xylitol, and that one gives me stomach issues, so I don't use that one because it makes me really sick to my stomach. But the only one that I can taste that I even barely like is xylitol, but the rest of it I don't like. So
it's a wild jack.
It's a wild jack. All right. Oh no, here comes an eyeball. There's an eyeball. We see an eyeball.
Grace Ann, what is the
Here, hold on. Come here, Jack.
What?
We gotta show them how tall you've gotten. Hold on. See, they can see. It's okay. You're sick. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Here. Now I lifted it up. Okay.
Oh, I think I just gave them all a computer
Come here.
virus.
Stand like look at this.
Wow.
He's not our little Jack anymore, is he?
Nope.
I have to get up on a chair to give him a kiss on the head.
Wow. Imagine how tall he's going to be when he's 14.
Oh my goodness. Oops, I didn't turn the camera back down.
So Grace Ann is asking, what is the quickest way to make blackberry or blueberry jam?
The quickest way is to just throw it in a pan with some sugar, maybe a little lemon juice, and boil it for just a bit and put it in your jar and put it in the fridge.
Somebody earlier asked, have you noticed that expiration dates are seeming to be shorter in the stores these days?
Yes. So just a moment on that. So if you need jam recipes, Dining on a Dime Volume 1 has strawberry jam in it, and you can just substitute any fruit you want for it. Yes, the expiration dates are getting lower. Now, there's conspiracy theories going around that they're running out of stock and it's the last of the stock that they're using. Okay, that could be true, but what I think it is, I think it's the food companies putting it on there so you'll just throw it away instead of eating it.
And buy more stuff.
And buy more. That's what I think.
Yeah.
But
Des said stocking up a little bit at times helps with expiration dates staggering instead of buying all at the same time and then expiring at the same time. I also look at the expiration date before I buy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't, because we just eat it and I don't worry about it. But I mean, you know, we eat it all and just keep rotating. So,
Jessica, how do you know when your onions are ready to harvest? My onions look too small, but it's been over 40 days since I planted. I'm in Ohio.
me too. It has been, let's see, what is this, September? It's been 90 days since I planted mine and they're this big. And that's the biggest one. I don't know what happened this year. There's something in the aura going on. I'm just joking for those of you. I don't know what's going on this year, but my garden is toast. If I get tomatoes, I'm just getting some tomatoes turning red, so I might get some tomatoes, but I would just go ahead and harvest them now, honestly. As a matter of fact, I'm thinking about just pulling mine because I'm like, why am I even wasting my time watering these things still? Normally, it's when the tops start turning brown and then you know that they're mature and they're not going to go any further, but I don't know what to tell you on that. I would just pull them and eat them.
Kitsy Witty asks, have you ever used bloom chia seeds instead of eggs in a baking recipe in case of egg shortages?
I have not, but chia seeds would work. Applesauce works. Soy flour works. Flaxseed flour works. Also, all of those will replace eggs.
Kenneth says, I love your desserts.
Oh, thank you. We're dining on a dime cookbooks. We have
Yeah.
lots of yummy desserts in our gluten-free one too.
Oh man, some of those are better than the regular ones.
Yeah.
Jerry says, I frequently buy the markdown meat at Walmart the last day of sale meat. As long as you either use it right away or put it in the freezer, it's perfectly fine. And that's one thing actually people have asked before is if you put meat in the freezer and then it goes past the expiration date while it's in the freezer, that it doesn't go bad just because the date passed while it was in the freezer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. When freezing, Denise asked, when freezing, are there better inexpensive wrappings or some better, well, are there better inexpensive wrappings than others?
For freezing?
Yeah, if you're not paying too much for the wrapping, are there some that will seal it really well? I think is what she's asking.
Well, you can vacuum seal it, and that's vacuum sealing it would be the number one way to freeze it. I mean, that removes all the air, and you don't usually get freezer burn or anything unless your seal breaks. But I personally just throw all my stuff in the freezer in the package from the grocery store. So, but if not, you can just put it in a freezer bag and stack it. Like if you're needing space or something and you decide to go ahead and cook all those chicken quarters, you can just stack the freezer bags up and you're fine. Kimberly wants to know, how long is yeast good in the freezer? I have had yeast, man, I've used it like 5 or 6 years old from the freezer. It lasts a really long time. But just in the package, it doesn't last near as long as, it doesn't last near as long. And these ones I've got to start, we're going to start doing some massive baking here pretty soon because I got to start using some of these up.
You bought a bunch of those when we were testing for the book, right?
Yeah.
Jerry, I recently used a box of rice-a-roni that was 2 months past the best by date to make some chicken and rice. It was good, and I'm still here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Rice-a-roni you could use for years past the expiring date.
Yeah. Expenses no meat or anything like that. Sarah Bella, how long will instant brown sugar Quaker oatmeal last after the date?
Oh, probably 2 years at least. Yeah.
Most packaged things will last a while, right?
Yeah.
M. Hayes, what about Crisco? How long does that last?
Now, oils are the things that don't last, okay? So like your oils will start to go rancid and you'll know because they will smell off and you'll know they smell off. But don't throw them away because you can use your oils to make candles like Crisco. You can use it to make candles. You can use it for soap. You can use it to make homemade soap. You can use it to put on your hands and feet for chapped hands and feet. So you could even use it to oil things like, like a door jamb or something if you had to. But don't throw it away because you could use it, if nothing else, for a candle. And you can just take a taper candle, you melt your Crisco into a canning jar, let it set up, take a taper candle, a skinny candle that's like this big, and just shove it down the center, and you've got a candle.
Kim asks, the brownies in the jar, I think meaning the jar mix that you talked about, does not have baking powder or soda.
I got that one. Yep.
Okay. You already
got that one. Yep. Am I writing a low carb cookbook? Nope.
And somebody else asked, what is the next cookbook?
There's not. I had started working on volume 2 for gluten-free, dairy-free, but I think Jesus is coming back sooner than I'll get it done. So I just stopped.
Every now and then she gets a wild hair to go crazy on it. So
I don't know. I might start working on it a little bit more this fall. We'll see. But
Pam asks, what is the best way to save dates and raisins?
Well, I mean, you can vacuum seal them for longer term, but really dried fruits like dates and raisins are fine on their own. They'll get a little bit harder. And if you need to soften them up, you can just put a little bit of boiling water over them, and that'll soften them up.
Janelle F. put powdered milk in the freezer. It's 2 years old. Should I still keep it?
Yep, use it.
Kia's Coacher Designs. What foods from Dollar Tree would you recommend for stockpiling?
Probably any of them. I mean, I did a Dollar Tree stockpile video, and they're just the same as every other food. I mean, I'm trying to run down the aisles in my brain here, but I can't think of anything that I wouldn't stockpile. The only thing I've noticed is like their coconut milk has more water than the other coconut milk, like at Walmart and that. And how you can tell is the fat content. So like I'll go to Dollar Tree and the fat this is just an example. It's not exact numbers because I can't remember exactly what they are. But let's say the fat content was 7 grams of fat in the Dollar Tree can, but it was 11 grams of fat at the Walmart one. So that means that they added more water to the coconut milk at Dollar Tree. And so that's why it's cheaper. But that doesn't always really matter. First of all, it's lower calories. So if you're on a diet or something, that's probably fine. But secondly, sometimes even though it has more water added to it, it's not going to be a big deal to use it for baking and that kind of thing. And third, it still may be a better price. So if it's $1 at Dollar Tree, but the coconut milk is $2.49 at Walmart, but the fat content is only, let's say 3 to 5 grams different, then it's probably still a better deal at Dollar Tree, if that makes sense.
Oops, sorry, I got away from the new questions. Someone asked about the best way to use, no, I don't know if they said it was the best way. So it was something about rancid nuts, but if they're rancid, well, any suggestions for nuts on rancid?
Yeah, give them to the squirrels. Rancid nuts, there's nothing you can do to save them that I have ever heard of or seen. And I mean, you could probably eat them, but who would want to eat that? That'd be kind of nasty.
Carly super chatted $20. Thank you, Carly.
Thanks, Carly.
She said, I have Not Just Beans autographed, LOL.
Oh my goodness.
Yes,
wow.
I've been here a while.
So for those
she says, what's the difference between Dining on a Dime Volume 1 and 2? Is it a revision or are they two separate books?
So for those of you that don't know, Not Just Beans was the original name of our Dining on a Dime Volume 1, which I know is a stupid name. I knew nothing about marketing back then. But
it's cool though, there are people who understood when they call it Not Just Beans instead of just Not Beans.
That means she's been with us 23 years at least.
Yeah.
Wow, that's dedication. Thank you. Oh man, I'm flattered. So the difference between Dining Volume 1 and Volume 2 is everything. They are totally different books, but these are the recipes that we couldn't fit into here. So all new recipes, all new ideas. Now, there are 2 repeat recipes only because it's the banana bread and the muffins, only because I couldn't find better recipes than the ones that we already have. And I wanted to add variations, but we didn't have space to do it in here. And so I have like 17 banana bread variations. I don't know, some huge amount. And then like 10 muffin variations that we added to this those are the only 2 recipes out of 800 recipes and tips that are the same. They work together, but they also work apart. So either way, it's fine. If you have not just beans, go ahead and get this one. But I will say, if you have not just beans, I think we have 80 new recipes in this edition over not just beans from 2 other revisions that we've done over the years.
Wow.
That's crazy.
But that one's a collector's item now.
Yeah. Save that for when I die. Oh my goodness. Put that on eBay and make yourself a
Especially
fortune.
autographed. Whoa. Anna, hi guys. Finally caught you live. Hugs from Germany. Love your show.
Oh, thank you. I hope you guys are staying warm. I hear you guys are having major heat issues over there.
Oof. Just going into winter too.
Yeah.
Where was I?
Honey, hello. We do not ship out of the United States. I'm super sorry. We have just had way too many issues with international customs. It got to the point where we just had to stop because we were actually losing money shipping internationally and we just couldn't do it anymore. We were losing, to put in perspective, because people get really upset when we say we don't ship outside the US anymore. We were losing thousands of dollars. We're not just talking, 50 cents or $1. We were losing thousands of dollars because of customs and taxes and destroyed books and stuff like that. And we just could not afford to keep doing it.
It would just disappear in the system.
The books would just disappear. So I'm really sorry, but we just can't afford to do it.
Grace Ann says, just a wee reminder that we don't take you for granted. Your tips, guidance, and humor are very much appreciated. Thanks for all that you do. It's always a pleasure to tune in.
Thank you.
And Melissa says, hi, I'm new, but I love this.
Oh, thanks.
Honey, Hello Home said, you already read that one. Okay.
Mom will tell you don't take my hair cutting tips. So I cut her hair today. Oh dear. I sort of made a mistake. So she may be going to the salon here.
Whoops.
Mistakes were made.
Kara, if ramen noodles have 2021 date, are they safe to eat?
I would eat them. Yeah.
I probably would too.
If you have the ones with oil in them, just smell them. If they smell off or bad, I wouldn't, or taste off or bad, you will know if they're off or bad. And if you taste them and you're like, I don't know, they're probably not off or bad. You're just being paranoid probably. Because you know how you get when you're thinking something's bad and then you're like, well, is it really bad? I don't know. Maybe it is. If you have to think about it, it's probably not bad because you will know if it's bad, if it has oil in it.
Romaine, tip, only buy plain potato flakes for long-term storage as the butter and seasoned packages go rented from added oils.
Yes, but if the seasoned packets are packaged separately from the potato flakes, and let's say you find them on clearance for $1 or something, which I have before, just go ahead and buy them anyway and just don't use the seasoned packet.
Yeah. Tea and Coffee Rose is the pumpkin roll recipe in volume 1, page 298 is the best. I have saved so much money making them instead of buying them at the bakery. Also, I've made it with gluten-free flour and it's really good.
Oh, have you? That is good to know because I made it and I thought it worked just fine. But then I had somebody say that it didn't turn out, and I was pretty sure it was her gluten-free flour. But here's the pumpkin roll, guys, right there. Right there, right there. Being sugar-free and dairy-free, I would say this is what I would miss the most, is pumpkin roll. Yeah. I could eat pumpkin roll for 3 meals a day, and I would just die a happy woman. I would say this is what I really miss. And now I wish you wouldn't have told me that because now I am coveting.
Let's see.
Where do I keep my veggies and fruits? Do you freeze or use canned? I use both. I have freezer and canned and dried. I actually have dried too. Mom likes to dehydrate and she has our dehydrator. So she dehydrates them too.
Pulapot earlier said question both types of yeast. I think that was related to what you said about yeast.
Yeah.
You already answered that?
What was the question?
She says just both types of yeast, but I think you made a comment about yeast and she's asking about that.
You mean the instant rise and the regular? Yeah, you can just put it in the freezer and they'll both be good.
So slightly different angle. Trish said, "So you guys homeschool? I'd love to hear your thoughts." We don't homeschool
Well,
at the moment.
We sort of do. We're not going to go into it, but I will say that we have homeschooled for, let's see, how many years has it been? 5. Let's see, how old is BJ? He was 10 years. So 10 years ago, we started homeschooling. Mike started homeschooling. Mike started homeschooling. We've done online school. We have done our own curriculum. We have done a college curriculum where it was online college classes, and we have done all of those. And now we are doing a different type, but probably won't go into it a lot for the moment. So,
but to say it, though, on homeschool, I think we would recommend online, something that has an online component to do a lot of it.
Yeah,
because it was just a lot.
But there was one online where we were having to grade it and stuff, and Mike was having to grade it and stuff, and that was a big pain in the patootie. And I don't know. I mean, homeschooling's fine, and we homeschool because the public schools are from Satan. But I'm not going to say we enjoyed it. We're not one of these families. Oh, we love being together all day long. No, we don't. Or at least Mom doesn't. But we did it because we loved our kids, and public school is harmful to them now. And so, yeah.
Kenneth said, "Jesus will return before I find a recipe of yours that I don't love." LOL.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
Wow. Diana, thanks for all your advice. Love my Diana Dime cookbook so much. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. 35% off right now. A little commercial break here while Mike's grabbing the next comments, including our gluten-free, dairy-free. We had a shopping cart meltdown, and a lot of people could not order with their credit cards. So we extended it until tomorrow for you. Our shopping cart should be fixed now. If it does not work, clear your cache, clear your cookies. If you don't know how to do that, use a different browser. If you don't know what I'm talking about with that, use a different device. And if all else fails, you can still send a check. And as long as you mail it by Monday, you can even send us a check. And if it's postmarked Monday or Tuesday, then we will still honor that price for you. Living on a Dime, P.O. Box 6837. Sheridan, Wyoming, 82801. Living on a Dime, P.O. Box 6837, Sheridan, Wyoming, 82801. And don't forget to add shipping. It's $6.50 for the first book and $1.50 for each additional book.
Donna, do you have a video where you make the gluten-free bread?
Did I do?
I don't recall. You did some bread videos.
I don't remember.
But they were taking we were doing a really long live show because we were waiting for it to rise and stuff.
Did I do the gluten-free sandwich bread? I don't know, but it is the best bread you will ever eat. I'm telling you, the gluten-free sandwich bread in gluten-free, dairy-free dining on a dime is you'll never have a better gluten-free bread. I guarantee it. My kids will eat it flat, gone as soon as it comes out of the oven. They love it so much. Let me see if I have it. No, apparently I have not done one. Let me check. I have another gluten-free recipe channel that I started that I didn't do anything. I did a few videos on it, and I wasn't getting any traction. No, I did not. I have not done one. I'm sorry. I probably should do that, but.
One thing on the homeschool, we used Bob Jones online, which was good, but a little bit legalistic on some of it was Bible based, and the Bible class itself we didn't take because the content was just a little too legalistic for us. Yeah. But for college, we had him take college classes because he got done with high school stuff early, and that was Pearson Accelerated Pathways, and they were very, very good.
Yeah.
We really like that one a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so sorry, I'm running out of questions. Carly, Tightwad Gazette and your family have saved us to be debt-free. It's a lifestyle, and our society would be so much farther ahead if we all followed your lead.
Thank you.
Jane just ordered the second book. I have the first one and love it.
Aw, thanks.
Jennifer says, Jennifer Weber, so many other things besides recipes. Yay.
Yeah, so we have a lot of things, guys. Like we have seasoning mixes and all that, but we also have, like how to make homemade cough syrup, how to make elderberry syrup. Those are in this one. How to make your own face mask, how to make your own acne cleanser, 2 ingredients, baby shampoo and activated charcoal. Save some money, guys, on those teenagers and make your own acne cleanser. Just tons of different, Play-Dohs and clays and bubbles and all those kinds of things too.
Rain, how long does Jello pudding last? Thank you.
A while, a long time. I would say 3 or 4 years past the date.
Leslie says, no shame to not being able to homeschool. Yeah, well, it's true. We didn't homeschool for a long time, and we didn't do it till we were desperate. And when we were desperate, it kind of, because we did it alongside working a lot of full time, it ended up being a lot of work.
Well, yeah, and we had to start homeschooling during that time when my niece's dad died, and she had to come live with us. And our son was really super sick, and we were driving kids 7.5 hours every day to 3 different cities for schools between Mike and BJ and I. We were driving kids 7.5 hours a day, and Mike's parents had us in court suing us. And we were in 11 car accidents in 3 years. And let's see what else. As a matter of fact, Mike and I were just talking, was it 3 or 4 days ago? And we were just like, Colorado seems like it was a really bad dream. It's like you're in a really bad nightmare and it's just going on and on and on and it never stops. And then all of a sudden it stops and you're like, whoa, how did I make it out of that?
Well, I was telling Tara, I almost don't remember living there the last time we lived there.
It's like we want to just shut it out of our minds and just erase that 10 years of our life.
Amy is asking, what skincare do you use? Your skin is flawless.
Thank you. I use baby shampoo to wash my makeup every night before bed. I use olive oil with sunscreen for my moisturizer, just their cheapy one. And then I use Maybelline Mousse for my foundation.
Jan wants to know, do you have any planners left?
Yes, I do. They are damaged. Well, I think I have 4 good ones left and 8 damaged ones left, but we sold out. And that's all I have left. And I'm holding those to make sure the ones that I shipped last week aren't destroyed at the post office before I put them back up again. Monday, we will have them for sale. And I will let you guys know. We are trying to get another printer. But there's only a 50-50 chance we're actually going to be able to get them printed. So we will have to see how that goes.
Dine It Frugal with Danny. The gluten-free rolls are amazing. I also changed the recipe slightly by having the sugar and swap the butter with olive oil, and it makes the most incredible gluten-free pizza base.
Wow, that's good.
Let's see. I think I'm running out of questions here.
Okay.
So.
What do I think about bioengineered foods like crickets are added as ingredients in food that people don't realize? I think it's ridiculous, and I think that Jesus is coming soon. I mean, that's just gross. And I know there's some cultures that that eat those things, and I'm not knocking them or anything. But I probably, if they didn't have to eat bugs, they would probably not eat bugs if they knew there was other food available. What is the Book of Job about?
Well, Tattooed Hands Piano says, "Wow, sounds like the Book of Job."
Yeah, it was.
Asked, what's the Book of Job about?
So yeah, it was pretty much the Book of Job for 10 years for us. It was pretty rough actually, but the Book of Job is okay. So the basis of the Book of Job. So the Book of Job is where Job is a faithful to God. He's absolutely faithful to God. And chronologically, just so you guys know, Job is probably the first book of the Bible that was written, they say. I don't know if that's true or not. I need to go and actually research it, but that's what I've heard.
Yeah, it's supposed to have been written.
Yeah, it was, I think, the first one, I think. But anyway, that doesn't really matter. It's just a little tip or just a little side thing there. But Job was very, very faithful to God. And Satan came and said that I want to test Job because I think he's not going to be faithful to you if he has bad things happen. I'm just paraphrasing. And God said, nope, I have faith in Job, so you go ahead and test him. And so God tested him, and then Satan said, well, and so I can't remember the exact order of things, but like all of his kids died. He lost everything he owned. His wife told him to curse God. And then he got really, really sick with really bad sores all over his body. His friends told him to curse God because, you know, they were just sure that it wasn't worth all that. And Job always said, no, I'm not going to. And Satan kept going back to God and saying, well, I want to do this. And God said, okay. So the point of Job is to say that, yes, you can be going through a lot of things, but God is still there for you and still faithful for you. And after, I'm not saying this is going to happen to everybody, but a lot of people don't note this point in Job. After God has allowed Satan to test Job, in the end, he has double of everything returned. He has double his lands, double his property. He has double his children. He has the 10 children that were lost or killed, but then he gets 10 more children. And the same with all of his flocks and everything. And so God rewarded Job by giving him back everything he had, you know, plus some, in the end for going through that trial. Now, it's not to say that every time somebody goes through a trial, you're going to get double back for what you have gone through. But, you know, a lot of times you do, and people don't think to thank God after they've gone through those things for the blessings that he gives him later. So anyway, yeah.
Jonelle, what's the best way to store oatmeal? I have 8 large containers and I don't know whether to put into Mylar or keep them in the original container.
Well, it depends on how long you're keeping them. I mean, if you're not going to use them up, then go ahead and put them in Mylar or vacuum seal them. Either way, that would be fine. But, you know, use it. Make no-bake fudge cookies, make oatmeal cookies, make just regular oatmeal for breakfast. So be sure you're using this stuff.
Nancy said Job's friends were self-righteous and thought he had sinned and he hadn't. Yes.
Yeah, that's a point that I forgot.
Actually,
I didn't mention, yeah.
The book of Job is cool also because it talks about things that people didn't know even up to the 1800s or early 1900s.
Yeah.
About
dinosaurs, the world being round, or is that Psalms?
No, it talked about
Was
the
it
world.
Job? Yeah.
The world being round, it hangs on nothing. The hydrologic cycle.
Yeah.
There are all kinds of things that were not known to the scientific community all throughout the ages that the book of Job describes and explains as if, everybody knows it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool. I don't really see a lot of new questions. There are a few comments coming. What plants for indoors help purify the air? I know this is off topic, but when I Googled it, it just led to unnecessary information.
Just any houseplant purifies the hair, basically.
So just a couple of them or a bunch of them?
Well, I mean, you'd basically have to have a forest in your house to really purify it. But I mean, you know, I would have several, and that does some. Yeah. Psalm 34:3 had a pastor say during a service message, don't need to store up stuff. And he made a joke. Everyone laughed. Me and hubby looked at each other like, yeah, here's 100 people that better not show up at, I'm assuming their house. Yeah. Listen, you're not storing up for the apocalypse. First of all, if you're a Christian and you've given your life to Christ, you're not going to be here for the tribulation and basically the apocalypse. But you're storing up for job loss, sickness, blizzards, floods, mudslides, tornadoes, hurricanes, we have been through all of those except for hurricanes. Personally, Mike and I moved to Idaho, and I'm not exaggerating. The month after we moved there was massive flooding and mudslides, and we couldn't leave town for 2 months because the roads were blocked.
A town of 400.
We lived in a town of 400. We couldn't get out to get to the grocery store. The grocery store couldn't get to us because there was no way. The town of Greensburg, Kansas, we weren't directly affected by it, but it was a town that was just a few miles from where we lived. And it was literally wiped off the face of the earth with a tornado. The entire town was leveled. Well, all of the surrounding farmers and all those kinds of things, they had nowhere to go get supplies. They had to drive a long way to go get supplies. I lived in southeastern Colorado. My well would freeze and I would have no water for several days. When we were growing up and we lived in the same house in southeastern Colorado, we would have snowdrifts so bad you could not get out of the driveway. They would be 6-7 feet high. I remember my brother and I walking along the snowdrift, and then we got to the top of the chicken coop. So you're not preparing for the apocalypse. I'm not yelling at you, whoever made the comment. I'm just saying people say this comment all the time, and it is sheer stupidity and pride. It's stupidity and pride. And it's wrong. And it makes me angry when pastors say things like that because it's just irresponsible and wrong. I'm done.
Wow. Okay. Nancy, question. I got 2 free aloe plants. I'm trying to decide, should I put them in pots or directly in the ground? I live in Texas.
No, they will freeze in Texas. I know that Texas stays warm most of the time, but it still gets cold enough that it'll kill them. And so you need to just put them in pots, and you can leave them outside, but you'll probably have to bring them in like the end of November to January, somewhere like that.
A bunch of people, including me, thought you said that we've been through lizards. That's like,
blizzards.
Sounds like Moses is back.
Yeah.
We're going to bring a plague of lizards on you.
No, blizzards.
And Karen said they're talking about plants. She said NASA studies say the very best plant, I think, for refreshing oxygen is the snake plant, aka the mother-in-law tongue.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah. Yeah, the snake plant or mother-in-law tongue. I have heard that before, that's the best one for purifying the air. And it's a cool plant. I used to have one myself.
Pula pot. That's our Tara.
Well, do you want to know what I really think?
No.
Oh, dang. Maybe our viewers want to know what I really think. I know you don't want to hear me.
Oh, I listen to you. Penn says maybe she meant Godzilla. Giant lizard. And Psalm 34:3 says pasta shortage from the wheat shortage. Is there a wheat shortage?
Not at the moment, there's not, but
there's some people think there might be one.
Yeah, they think there might be a pasta shortage soon.
Cindy asks, are your utilities higher in your new home? Are you still in love with your new home?
Yes, we are still in love with it and wish we could have moved here 10 years ago. Are utilities higher? I don't know. You're paying the bill.
So the house is twice as big as our old one, and the utilities are about 10% more altogether. So the cost of utilities per whatever is a lot less.
So the cost per square foot is a lot less.
And the cost of the property tax per whatever measurement that is also less.
Yeah.
But
we pay more property taxes, but our house is twice as big as our old one. So, it kind of equals. We pay less taxes per square foot than we did in Colorado on this house. Oh, see, Kimmy still loves me. Thank you, Kimmy. We've only got 2.5 weeks before we get to see each other. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm not going to hear the speakers. I'm just going to see you guys.
Were you talking to Kimmy?
Yes.
Well, I told Tara last year we came with all these plans, we've got to learn this, we've got to learn that, we've got to pay attention to every second of every speaker. And now it's who are we going to see that we know there? And you're at the top of our list.
Oh, is Derek coming too? Did he get to come? Let me know if he gets to come. Yeah. Let's see. Julie says, fix the cereal box. I'm kidding and just OCD.
Oh, there's diagonal cereal boxes.
So we used to have people that would get really angry with us because our slats on our mini blinds at our old house would be crooked or something, and they were really nasty about it. And so finally we got to the point where we were like, you know what, we're going to help you. What's it called? Immersion therapy or whatever it's called. We're like, we're going to do immersion therapy or whatever it's called. And we're just going to leave them like that. But here's the thing. I understand if you have stuff like that. I mean, it drives me nuts too when I notice it. But, and I'm not saying you are. I'm not saying you are by any means. I know you're laughing about it. But, I don't care if that's what you have. You don't say anything. That's rude. You just don't be rude. People just don't have any common courtesy anymore. It's like, my goodness. Do I drink coffee? No, I'm a tea drinker. I love tea. Yeah.
Earlier when you were talking about preparing for life or something, Jen said, yes, preparing for life and being savvy in savings. It's how I grew up in rural Wyoming, and I thought it was common.
Yeah.
I think it's more common here than in a lot of other places.
Yeah.
Honey Hollow Homestead said, our only vehicle has been in the shop for over a week. We'll be lucky to have it back by mid next week. We're in the middle of nowhere. I am fully stocked and we're fine.
Yay.
Yay.
That's great.
Um,
Let's see. Oh, aversion therapy. Is that what it's called? I don't know, whatever
I
it's
thought
called.
it was immersion or something like that. Or
Oh, any psychiatrists on here or psychologists, tell me what it actually is. I don't know. Or if you've been through it, then you know what it is. I don't know. See, we did that with Mike. I'm a gardener, so he got over his fear of bees mostly because of my gardening. So
yeah.
Yeah. But anyway.
But
yeah.
Let's see. That's pretty much all the questions.
Let's see. Why don't you ask the people at the Amish store for the recipe for jelly with apple juice? I'm sure they sell it in books. Because they don't make it there. So the Amish store that we have here, probably 95% of the products that they have, they ship in from other Amish back east. So it's all made from other Amish people. So yeah, but email me if anybody has a recipe for jelly that uses apple juice as the sweetener with no sugar, with berries, apple juice, apple cider vinegar, and some pectin is what the ingredients were. Please email it to me because I really want to try that. How do we and Kimmy from She's in Her Apron Associated? We're just YouTubers that have become friends.
We're in the same niche, the same subject area, and we became friends through that. And then we went to a training thing and went to a national YouTube conference and met Kimmy there. And ever since then we
met her. So I've known Kimmy for years and I've done videos with her a couple of times, but we actually got to meet in real life person to person last year at a YouTube conference. So yeah.
Yeah. You know what used to make me crazy? People snapping their gum by chewing with their mouths open. Country Frau says that. Jonathan said the same thing.
I snap my gum all the time.
Doesn't bother me. Music Matt says Earl Grey tea. Is that regarding saving something? Because I would absolutely love that.
Yeah, Mike has a ton of Earl Grey tea. Somebody sent him. So we had a viewer that sent him
a lifetime supply.
two 6-packs of Earl Grey tea. So he had 12 boxes of Earl Grey tea, and I think we still have 4 or 5 left.
And
probably.
At the same time, another person sent me even more.
Yeah, we said something about Earl Grey tea one time, and I'm not kidding. He probably got a 6-year supply in 2 weeks from viewers sending it to us. It was totally funny. He's using it. He uses it, but it was just funny. But yeah. Okay, well, we get the last couple of questions here, guys. Get the last couple of questions before we go on our taco date and go get the car from the shop. Dining on a Dime cookbooks, 35% off. We extended the sale through tomorrow because we had a shopping cart meltdown. They got it fixed. So if you could not order with your credit card, please try again. If it still doesn't work, clear your cache, clear your cookies. And then if you don't know what that means, use a different browser. If you don't know what that means, use a different device. And if you don't have a different device, you can mail us a check to Living on a Dime, P.O. Box 6837.
Be sure and include the shipping. Sheridan,
Wyoming, 82801. Living on a Dime, P.O. Box 6837. Sheridan, Wyoming, 82801. And how you can figure out the total that you need is just put it in the shopping cart and it will add up the total and the shipping for you. And then you can just write a check for that if it doesn't allow you to use your credit card if you can't get all of those done. So
you kind of already answered this, but Cindy was just asking, how do you keep from having stored food from going out of date? Or
you
what do
eat
you do
it.
with it?
You don't let your store food go out of date by eating it. But like we said earlier in the show, the expiration date is just a best buy date. It doesn't really mean it's expired. So, all right, guys, please go visit us at livingonadime.com. 35% off until tomorrow evening. Our great Labor Day sale. Mike's putting the links in there for you right now, so you can go grab it.
How about the Bible link?
And if you don't have a Bible and would like a Bible, we offer free Bibles. Also, go to livingonadime.com, go to the shop, and click on free Bible and use the coupon code, and it will be free for you. We give away a lot of Bibles, and we're super excited about that. Any videos of your recipes? Oh yeah, I have hundreds of videos on my recipes. Just sort the videos, click on videos, and then on the right, you can sort it by, by most popular, oldest, and newest, and just click the oldest and you'll see some of my videos. We have hundreds of videos for cooking. And then also Super Easy Recipes is my recipe channel also. We love you guys. We will see you on Monday. Have a great night and goodbye.